Hello, and welcome to another edition of Nasdaq-100. I'm Mark Marex, head of America's Index Research at Nasdaq, here to recap monthly performance of the Nasdaq-100 Index, as well as highlight some of the key storylines our team has been observing over the first half of 2025. June largely saw a continuation of the powerful rally off of the lows on April 8th, only briefly interrupted mid-month by worsening geopolitical headlines in the Middle East. After a fairly quick easing of tensions, NDX achieved multiple new record highs in the last week of June for the first time since February, and put up its strongest quarterly performance since Q1 2023, more than offsetting the losses seen in the first quarter of this year. NDX gained 6.3% in June, finishing the quarter with a surge of 17.6% and swinging to a year-to-date gain of 7.9%. We also observed historic outperformance of growth stocks in the U.S. over value, with Nasdaq's benchmark of U.S. large-cap growth names trouncing their value counterparts by more than 16% in Q2, the biggest gap in at least 10 years. The economic environment remains somewhat uncertain, although with the most negative outcomes such as outright recession reduced in likelihood. Despite the various announcements in tariff pauses and reductions, the effective rates are considerably higher than at the beginning of the year, around 12 to 15% on average across all U.S. imports. And while deadlines for various pauses loom in the near term, wide-ranging tariffs are still expected to boost inflation while dampening economic growth. However, economic data have yet to meaningfully deteriorate, other than some ongoing weakness in soft data around inflation expectations and consumer sentiment. With the quarter now officially over, EPS beat rates for the Nasdaq-100 had come in at around 80%, and year-over-year EPS growth finished at about 22%, meaningfully above consensus expectations of 17%, and well outpacing U.S. large caps overall, with the S&P 500 delivering only 13% growth in the quarter. Given recent uncertainty and tariff-related impacts, however, full-year earnings estimates for 2025 and 26 have been contracting a bit, down by about 3 to 4% versus beginning of the year. All in all, June was like a capstone to a quarter and first half of the year unlike any other, full of superlatives, volatility, and macroeconomic noise. Investors who've remained steadfast in their belief in the strong, long-term fundamental drivers of the Nasdaq-100 have been rewarded, though, with a continuation of impressive performance. Thanks for joining, and see you next time.